This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. Got my boys in the building, Richy Rich. Got my boy Jacob Lonewolf in the building. We about to get it in, man. You know what I'm saying? Richy Rich, Jacob Lonewolf. We're gonna start with Jacob Lonewolf. Get it out the way, man. Let's get those salutations out the way.
Yeah, no, how's everybody doing? Yes, this is your boy Jacob Bloom with Life here in Melbourne. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everybody, wherever part of the world you're at. And I think this is, a lot has been going on in the NBA, and I'm very excited, to what's going on with the protests and the NBA and Kyrie and all that. So I think this is going to be a good live stream. So yeah, guys, I'm ready.
All right, that's what's up, man. Richy Rich, man. Talk to the people, man.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Shout outs to Hino, shout outs to Jacob Longwolf. Shout outs to you all in the comments and the chats. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. We got some really interesting NBA topics to talk about. Pretty much all the stuff that's trending right now. So uh, I'm looking forward to getting into it. So let's see, how we all, touch up on the show.
All right, that's what's up, man. So let's get on to it, man. All right. So, all right, let's talk about it, man. First topic at hand, as you guys know, the NBA has been going through a whole spiel. They've been going through a whole debacle. They've been going through a whole lot of nonsense, a lot of unrest. And the biggest issue right now is between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. These guys have been, vocal on both their stances, vocal on what they think, should happen. LeBron James is obviously giving this fake socially aware mindset and making people think that he's all about the George Floyd situation. He's all about, guys' safety in terms of the global pandemic. But bottom line is LeBron James wants the season to start. He wants it to restart. Here's the fundamental issue with that. We have a LeBron James that's pushing for an NBA season that really is filled with a lot of misdirection. We have a lot of players that are sloppy at this point. We have a lot of players right now that really haven't been training and really haven't been playing basketball. If we're really putting our heads together and we're really looking at the situation for what it is, we have to tell ourselves that these players right now are not pushing the thumb and they're not really pushing the needle. And then we have to look at another issue here, and it's an underlying issue. We have to look at the fact that the tournament wants to start in Orlando, in Walt Disney. Here's the problem with that. As you know, Richy Rich, because you're down in Florida, Florida is the state amongst all of the 50 states in the United States that has the biggest, and I'm going to say it again, the biggest number of coronavirus cases, with 2,783 and counting. So we've had players like Avery Bradley. We've had players like Damian Lillard. We had players like Dwight Howard all come out and all say the same thing. Now, it's interesting that three of those guys, 2 out of 3, are Los Angeles Lakers. I believe that Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley have signed their fate with the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're going to get pink slips because of the fact that they spoke against the LBJ train. They spoke against the LBJ Riders media. They spoke against the LBJ apologists. They spoke against the LBJ brigade, and they spoke against the LBJ stance. So there is going to be some form of payment in terms of them getting pink slipped from the Los Angeles Lakers that's going to come of it. Even though Avery Bradley, what he's saying is justified because he's talking about the George Floyd side of things. Even though Dwight Howard is justified, he's talking about the George Floyd side of things. Even though Damian Lillard is justified, even though he's talking on both sides of that. Damian Lillard went as far as to say that I don't think I want to go ahead and play, in Orlando because I have to think about my safety. I have to think about how the NBA is going to address safety measures in order for them to deal with the coronavirus situation, the COVID-19 situation. So bottom line is this. We have to look at the cold-hearted, the unadulterated, and the cutthroat truth-telling fashion. And what is it? Who's standing on the right side of things and who's standing on the wrong side of things? Why is LeBron James pushing for a cockamamie NBA season? It's very clear. It's the path of least resistance. When you got a whole bunch of guys that are not up to par from a training standpoint, he's obviously the one that spent over $1 million on his body, so he's probably well more conditioned than other athletes, and he's pushing for the NBA to start and continue off where it left when we know guys are not in that gear, because prior to the season going in shambles due to COVID-19, we're talking about teams positioning themselves to get themselves into playoff mode. They were getting themselves into playoff position. And now we're talking about potentially an NBA season that was going to start on July 30th, right? If that was the case, which we know now it's up in the air, it's pretty much shreds. You have a bunch of guys that were in that wave of thinking, that wave of mode, trying to play for playoff positioning, to now they all are completely out of shape. You might as well just say that. J.R. Smith got popped for smoking weed. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think that happened? Because J.R. Smith, like a lot of other NBA players, didn't even think there was going to be an NBA season. And you know, there's a two-pronged element as to why these NBA players does not want, or they do not want, the NBA season to continue. The first prong of it is these players understand that they're not in their best of shape. And Adam Silver alluded to this. He said there's going to be a lot of sloppiness. So why would LeBron James want to continue on a season when guys are not at their best? This tells me everything I need to know. La Participation Award era. That's what it's all about. Because a true competitor, they would want to face their competition when they are at their best. That's what true competitors want. But what do I expect from a 33%er? The guy's been 33% in his NBA Finals average. Every 3 times he goes to the NBA Finals, he wins 1. He's 33% everything that he freaking does. He's 33% average against Kevin Durant. Do I need to keep going on of how 33% he is in every side of the corner? He's 33% against Tim Duncan. You see how LeBron is just 33% everywhere? Everything about this guy is a 33.3%er. But then he wants to sit here and tell you, oh, we need to restart the season. This is our way of, showcasing that we're going to show support for the people in these times. Really? A mundane thing of playing basketball is going to show people support? No. Showing people support is being in solitude and being in solidarity with them and showcasing to them that you're not going to continue on the season. You're not going to be living your lavish lifestyle of wanting to play basketball and make millions and millions of dollars off of the strength of them watching, the consumer. It's such a selfish thing to do. It's such a class A narcissist thing to do. So I want you guys to take on Kyrie Irving and LeBron James's position. Jacob Lonewolf, I'm gonna let you start off. What's your take on that situation, man?
Those were great points. I definitely agree with a lot of the points that you said. And my thing is, the thing with the Kyrie versus LeBron situation is obviously it's the mainstream media pitting these two against each other, because obviously, with the history in Cleveland and Kyrie standing up to LeBron when he left, Cleveland going to Boston. So it really has nothing to do with the both of them, but you also, the media also likes to create tension. Even like when I watched the 2016 NBA Finals, I was pulling for the Cavs to win, because you look at the history and they haven't won a world championship for like 50 years, and just the whole storyline was great. And when LeBron won the Finals MVP, I was like, Kyrie saved his ass. Like, he was the guy that made the last second shot. He was the one that came through clutch situations. He showed true alpha. When the game was winding down. And since then I knew that Kyrie was that type of player and that type of leader that to where not only could take games, but I also saw another side of Kyrie when he left Cleveland. At first, I was shocked. Why did he want to trade? But then when you start to look at the nuances and you start to look like what's happening from afar, damn, like I'm proud of the brother for what he did. Because a lot of players wouldn't have done that. Like it would have been like career suicide to like get away from LeBron because we also know what the media would do. And just from the fact of me seeing Kyrie leave LeBron and not taking his shenanigans, like that made me that made me like give a lot of respect towards him for doing that. During his time in Boston, I'm not gonna say that he was a perfect leader. He obviously did have some problems, leading the young guys. But I think that's what leaders go through sometimes. When you're leading a young squad, particularly when you're a young player like Kyrie, you're gonna have some bumps in the road. You're gonna have, some chinks in your armor. You're not gonna have the best leadership qualities, but in nature, Kyrie is a true leader within himself. He marches to the beat of his own drums, and he doesn't uh, basically follow what you call conventional wisdom. He's always going to be willing to stand up for things that are right. And from being a loner myself, I can appreciate that from him. Because he really marches to the beat of his own drum. So when it comes to when it comes to the protesting and being socially aware, we need to applaud Kyrie more than LeBron because, the thing with LeBron and Kyrie is night and day. LeBron tweets about things. He does what most celebrities do. They tweet. But Kyrie is actually willing to give up his career, and he's not gaining anything from this. He's losing millions of dollars, you know, as well as Dwight and Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley, this guy shows leadership as well. During his time in Boston, he was a great defender. He was a good teammate. And those are the qualities that I look for. And if you notice that a lot of players that tend to do more, they're not really the big name players. The usually the players that really are socially aware are usually the best teammates. The ones that are out there on the front line supporting their teammates, and you could see that quality when what like stuff like Avery Bradley's doing. With Dwight Howard, I'm proud of that brother. Even though he there's things that I don't agree with that Dwight has done throughout his career. I definitely feel that he's made a lot of mistakes in his NBA career. I'm proud of him for standing up for what he believes in. And that quote and that speech that he did in the athletic way, he spoke about how them as players are not slaves anymore. That was powerful, man. Like just the fact that he said that, it was leadership within itself. And I knew even before he said that Dwight was going to get blackballed, I knew that Dwight, when you're that type of player and you come out and you say things like that, most likely you're going to get blackballed. And it's not the fact that he spoke out; it's the fact that him and Kyrie are affecting the owner's pockets. Like the fact that they got 80 to 100 players on that call to basically talk about how going back to Orlando would be kind of like suicide at this moment because obviously of the things that's happening in America with George Floyd. Like the fact that you had 100 players on that Zoom call, like what is that, like 1/4 of the NBA? Like there's 400 players in the NBA. That's a lot of players, particularly having 100 players on that Zoom call. And you don't think that the owners are gonna feel some type of way about that? Oh no, like I'm telling you, I just read a report now that the NBA has laid off 100 employees. They've laid off workers already. So like what they did to Carmelo, you know, what Dwight did, that's going to be seen as worse as Carmelo. And I think a lot of players are going to get blackballed, man. Like, it's not just Dwight, it's not just Avery. There's a lot of players that are going to get blackballed, And my question is, I wonder, how did people know about the Zoom call? Who leaked out the information, particularly the information about Kyrie saying that he wanted to start his own league? I don't know who did that, but I'm pretty sure there was a few players that snitched. Let's just keep it real. And whether it's true or not that Kyrie said that he wanted to start his own league, man, that's powerful, like within itself. Like when I heard that report, I was like, man, this brother's is on a whole another playing field, man. Like I would even go on record, like Kyrie is probably, if you look at throughout the NBA, right, we've obviously seen superstars like a Bill Russell or a Kareem, that were on the front line that were supporting Muhammad Ali during, his time, during the draft where he didn't want to go to war. And I think Kyrie's, I'm not trying to compare, but I think he's on that spectrum to where this guy, he's going to be willing to give up his career, man. And I think from this point forward, the NBA is going to make his life a living hell. They're going to make his life a living hell, and Kyrie just put himself in a situation to where it's going to be very hard for him to get out. And the fact that he's willing to put it all, to risk everything, it just, I just gained a new appreciation for him, and I saw traits of this, when he was in Boston, when he was in, Cleveland, and the fact that him and KD are the two of the most misunderstood players in the league. I definitely feel that, even though KD's not saying anything, that KD, like I see that type of leadership in KD as well. So I definitely feel like, KD's the type of player, unlike LeBron, that's probably going to have Kyrie's back. And I think that these two players, they need to support each other because I feel like they're 1A and 1B. They have very similar personalities. They're two of the most vilified players in the NBA, polarizing, and I just feel like this is just a critical time, man. Like, I think because now players are starting to understand that they have leverage, because back before it was about, hey, they were cautious about speaking out because they didn't know if they had the right platform, or if a lot of players didn't feel comfortable speaking out because they didn't feel that they were politicians. But one thing that I will say is that I agree with Chris Broussard the other day. He made up a great point that he said that African Americans, particularly athletes in America, they're the most popular. They're the most popular group among African Americans. So even though they may not be politicians, their words have a lot of weight compared to other politicians because they have popularity, they have wealth. They appeal to all races. So when it comes to being socially aware, I think athletes have understood, particularly NBA players, that the power and the leverage that they have, that they can come together. And the fact that Kyrie said that he was willing to, even though usually when someone says that the report is not true, you have to believe the opposite. Now, whether Kyrie said it was true or not, it doesn't matter. The fact that this guy said he wanted to start his own league, that right there, it just says it all. And they could do it. Like literally, those 100 players on that Zoom call. If the NBA, let's just say if most of them got blackballed, most of them would be all right. Now there are some exceptions. Like there's a huge gap between the superstars and the average players in the NBA. But even the average players, if they could come together, I think maybe in like a year or two, they can create a league better than the NBA. And I feel like if they ever did that, do you know how they would literally bankrupt the NBA? They can come and pull their resources together, like billions of dollars among those 100 players, and they could start their own league where they could speak on social issues whenever they want. They don't have to go by strict guidelines. And yes, I understand that the NBA has done a lot of things where, compared to the NFL, they've allowed a lot of the NBA players to speak out. But to me, that's not enough, because my thing is like, how can the league be 80% black, but then you have people in the media say that Adam Silver is doing such a great job? You better, because the league is 80% black. What else is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to tell his players to shut up and dribble? Nah, man. Like the fact that the league is 80% black lets me know that it's the players that have the powers, not the owners or the commissioner. If the players, even if the NBA puts strict guidelines on what type of players should speak out, like even if the players said anything, they couldn't really do anything to take the major superstars. And I'm like, it's very narcissistic for when the media say, "Oh, the NBA is good at allowing players to speak out," that just goes to show that there's still it's even though a lot of these athletes get paid millions of dollars, they're still in that plantation, and they have to realize that the power that they have. Look what happened with the Negro Baseball League, back in those times, where the black players, they created their own baseball league. The Negro Baseball League had the most talent. So I feel like now, like, the players have to be willing, like Kyrie said, he's willing to give up everything. That's leadership within itself. That's not even what Michael Jordan did, And MJ was a beast on the court, but when it comes off the court, this brother has, he's not perfect. He has flaws, I didn't, even though Kobe's a very articulate person, I didn't really see that with Kobe. So when it comes to Kyrie, I think he's one of the few superstars who's really galvanizing these players, these players that don't have a voice, that don't feel comfortable speaking out, to be an example, to be like, hey, just because you have millions of dollars, you don't just have to shut up and dribble, and it's not the so-called more than an athlete that LeBron does, where he has this show Undisputed, where he has a bunch of these butt-kissing celebrities telling him how great he is and never questioning him. No. Kyrie's actually showing you an example. He's actually doing what LeBron doesn't do, And in this day and age, talk is cheap, Action is what gets it done, Action. Basically, when you see someone put into action, action can say 1,000 words, it can say 1,000,000 words, And Kyrie's doing that. And the other day you had Kendrick Perkins, this guy, man, like this guy, like Katie said, he's a sellout, And the what people have to realize is that the reason why KD goes hard on KP or Kendrick Perkins is not that he has an opinion or he's saying all these things. Is that you were my teammate. You were with me on the front line when I was going against these other teams in the playoffs. I looked at you as a brother. When you came from Boston to Oklahoma. Even in his 2014 MVP speech, he mentioned how great KP was. So the fact that KP turned his back and he's in the media running his mouth, it just goes to show you that he stabbed KD in the back and now he's on LeBron's payroll. I've never heard KP criticize LeBron, but why are you criticizing someone that you were teammates with and actually gives a damn about you? Whereas LeBron, when you're on the Cavs, he didn't give a damn about you, And Kendrick Perkins calling out Kyrie for what? What? Because Kyrie is actually standing up for himself, standing up for the players, standing up for his community, and he's actually doing, and he's, he posed. The reason why the media hates Kyrie is because they benefit off the NBA restart, resuming the season. They need the NBA back so then they can talk more about sports, so then they can gain revenue. They need that, like a Stephen A. Smith or Snake, like he's a snake, just on the other day saying how he was pissed off that, there was a coalition going on, that the players were actually knowing their worth, knowing who they are, and actually using leverage, because leverage is power. Stephen A. He agrees with the players, but when Stephen A. speaks, he's talking too sideways out of his ass. He's contradicting himself. He's saying us like he was basically bringing up how there wasn't enough black coaches. How does that have anything to do with what's going on in America right now with the protests? And he brought that argument up, saying how that the last years the coaches in the NBA went from 30 black coaches to 7. Okay. I'm not going to say that that's not happening, but that's a very microcosm of a problem. That's a small microcosm of what's happening compared to the bigger problem that's happening in America right now. And the fact that he did that, he knows what he's doing. Stephen A. is a snake. He knows what he's doing, bro. This guy, he's on record, whenever he criticizes these players, he always says how he knows them, he's good buddies with them, but then he talks shit about them on at ESPN, and he basically he brings up all these arguments and he just regurgitates things from the powers that be that want him to say, and we can obviously see that Stephen A doesn't care about the black community, at times, like the fact that he's pissed off that these players are actually standing up for themselves and they're actually doing well and they know their worth. It just goes to show me that you have a lot of these people in the media. They agree with what the players are doing, but that check, man, all they care about is the bottom line. And we don't see too much celebrities, do this, And the fact that Kyrie did this, props up to him. So, I'm proud of what this brother did.
Richy Rich, what's your take on it?
And my take on first off, hats off to Kyrie Irving, man, for looking at this moment as a very important moment for the black community in the United States, man. Because just like man, as the systematic racism, how we've been treated, how we've been perceived by law enforcement in this country. How we've been looked upon, other people where they look at us like we're aggressive people, like militant people, like we want to fight, all types of stuff, man. Or they want to just call law enforcement on us right away. It's just a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed in this country. When it has its view on black people, and I'm glad to see Kyrie Irving. He wants to see change, man, and he's willing to sacrifice basketball for these changes to start happening, man. And that's what the big picture is. Basketball should be the least of everyone's worries. And it can be a distraction. If it comes back, and we're continuing looking to see what's going on, what's going to happen. But basketball will be a distraction. A lot of people won't be focusing on these important matters that have been transpiring this past month in the present right now. So seeing Kyrie's views, man, you gotta tip your hats off to him, give that man a pat on the back, and support that man. It's like Huey Newton, man, who was a African American political activist, one of the co-founders of the Black Panther. He quoted and he said, when a black brother, wants to raise his head up, another black brother tells him to put his head down. This is what Kendrick Perkins has done to Kyrie Irving. Why not call that brother? Get to know what he's thinking, why he's thinking this way. Why put him down in front of the media because he has those type of views? That's the problem, man. But us black brothers, man, we gotta stick together. This is a time that we gotta put our heads together, man, and figure this thing out. We can't be putting our heads down, man, in front of these people anymore. There's a time where we gotta come together, put our heads together, and rise above this nonsense, man, and try to build something off this. It's important, and I'm glad Kyrie sees that. Some of these other guys are not seeing that in the NBA, but Kyrie sees it. There's some other guys in this league that see what Kyrie's talking about. Dwight Howard's one of them. It's not just obviously the COVID-19 thing. COVID-19 has had an impact in what's going on now because these guys have gotten to spend time with their families. This was a serious time. People were dying because of that virus, and then this issue spilled through. And now it's a very emotional situation right now, and these guys are just going through all sorts and types of emotions, man. Seeing what it's like what Colin Kaepernick did. It was like a prophetic thing, man, because you see how that ties into all of this, man, and how this guy, what he was doing, what got him blackballed at the time. People didn't see it at the time, but now it's like everything has now been put into place now. And now you see all these people apologizing to that man when he was trying to make his stand, and he saw what was right in his mindset. You know that the game, like kneeling, when they were doing the anthem, he didn't believe in that anthem, because if you go back and you do research on the anthem, man, it's all ties into racism. The blacks were the ones that sold that flag. The song was a racist song, and they changed up the words, a bit, because they, back in the day, man, there was some crazy stuff that went on, man. It's just all this stuff ties to racism, man, and there needs to be change in this country. Sports is not is it should not be the factor right now. It should be this issue, man. And I understand that if these guys don't play, they're gonna have to restructure their CBA, and that's gonna affect a lot of players in the league, But these players, even if some guys should stand for what they believe in. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play, man. If this is something that you believe in, that you see this more as bigger than basketball, then you don't have to play. But it's gonna show people who the real ones are and who aren't the real ones. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna show who is willing to sacrifice and who's not willing to sacrifice. Obviously, there's some guys in the NBA, man. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're rookies, so they may not feel like this is why this is a touchy thing, and you kind of understand some the position that some of these guys are in, because they're rookies. They can't really afford to do this right now, because they probably have to take care of family members, or they got to provide for some people. So they can't. I don't know if they could really take a stand like this. They just got into the league, and they're kind of confused at the moment. Young guys are a little confused with this situation right now. So we I, I'm a little intrigued to see what happens, in that scenario, because they've given these players a mandate. They've given these players a timetable. They have until the 24th to see who's going to play and who's not going to play. And everybody's going to be paying attention to that date, man, because we're going to see which guys, man, really believe in this cause, really are down for the cause, and really want to see change, man, with this whole movement, this BLM movement right now. They really want to see change. They want to see that systematic racism thing torn down completely, in this country, because we've had enough of that oppression. We've had enough of those ill-conceived perceptions about us. That all that stuff needs to be done away with, man. And this is what Kyrie's looking at. He's looking at that bigger picture, man. So that shouldn't be criticized. That shouldn't be critiqued. That shouldn't be mocked, man. If in fact those brothers should be bringing him up, all his NBA brothers. So it's a shame on Kendrick Perkins for tap dancing on that ESPN network, man, putting that brother down like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad KD called him a sellout, because that's what he is. He's trying to build up his resume on these networks, but man, listen, Kendrick Perkins, man, that dude does not have the charisma to continue to be on that sports network talking and babbling about basketball. That guy, he just looks awkward up there. Seriously, man, he's super biased about LeBron James. I don't know if you guys saw Bill Russell put that fool in his place when he was basically saying LeBron James was the most athletic athlete, and Bill Russell put up that picture on Twitter showing how he was the second in the high jump competition behind the guy who was the world class jumper in the Olympics. He showed how athletic he was. You know what I'm saying? So, and after he saw that picture, he was like, "Oh, sorry, Bill Russell was also a great. So, sorry, LeBron. Bill Russell is the most athletic athlete to ever play the game." I'm like, this guy, he just rambles all about his what he thinks in his head. He's not a good analyst on TV. He's played the game, but he's a terrible analyst when he's talking, man. It's what when you are breaking down the game, it can't come from emotion. It has to come from like you studying the game, you doing proper video, like study and watching film and seeing a player's nuances, what they do. But this guy is just all emotion, man. So you can't take someone like that serious. So LeBron's take on this thing is he's being very careful what he says. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to LeBron. LeBron has not come out and said anything major yet. All he said was that the NBA they're gonna do their best to make sure they cross every T and dot to make sure players are in a safe bubble. They're and that he can do this. He can focus on this battle of oppression and also focus on playing basketball, and that shouldn't affect it. Besides that, he hasn't really said anything major because he knows this is a very sensitive topic and he doesn't want to appear as someone that cares about finishing out this season more than he cares about this moment right now that's going on for people of color in this country, man. So you're gonna see LeBron's been sending his agents out like Kendrick Perkins to basically, go against the what a Kyrie Irving is saying, go against what a Dwight Howard is saying, or any player that's not fixated. They're not fixated on the game coming back. They're focused on this. They want to see change done now before these sports start come back, man, because that's what is important. But the thing is, it's that CBA, that nagging CBA, man, and the type of ramifications these players are gonna have, man, if they don't play. They're gonna have to deal with those owners tearing down that CBA because these owners are in a partnership with these networks, and these networks have ESPN, ABC, TNT. They spent over $7 billion to cover the games in the NBA. So that's the thing, man. Like they run the risk of severing their partnership with those networks if they don't play these games, or they're gonna have to like take a lesser deal. Those networks are gonna ask the NBA to, okay, you guys didn't play a certain amount of games, and then when you guys come back, you're not gonna play the full season. That means that we overpaid for these contracts in this year. We would like you guys to do those contracts over, and these guys got to take less. A lot of these guys are not. You got to look at it. A lot of these guys are not going to be on Kyrie Irving's train when they hear their money going down, because it's to some of these guys it's about that dollar, man. Some of these guys, they got a lifestyle to maintain, and that's what it is. That's what's important to them right now. So on June 24th, you're going to see who the real riders are, and you're going to see which guys care about their status in the NBA. So I'm looking forward to that date, man. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Richy Rich and Jacob Lonewolf, you guys went in. So let me circle back on this one, and then we're gonna jump into the next topic. See, first and foremost, I have to double back on what Richy Rich said about LeBron James being careful. There's a reason why LeBron James is being careful. I'm gonna give you guys an overview of the 27th law of power. I touched on that in, the videos that I did today, because today I was in a zone. So I just, when I get in that zone, I'll drop as many videos as I possibly can. So you guys check out those videos, you'll see the zone that I was in. But the 27th law of power, people play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. I'm gonna say it again. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. But listen to the rest of this. People desperately want something to believe in. This is why the 27th law of power is dangerous, because everyone, all of us, we all like that. We desperately want something to believe in, especially the 97% of people that are part of this low participation award era. Offer them a cause to follow. Promise the world, but keep it vague. whip up enthusiasm. You see that last part? That speaks to what you were saying, Richy. Rich, promise the world, but keep it vague. Vague means to keep it not obvious, to keep it kind of aloof, to keep it in a way to where it's you're kind of saying what you want to say, but you're leaving it to the eye of the imagination, or you're leaving it to the imagination of the beholder. Whip up enthusiasm. Keep them enthused. Keep them excited. Keep them galvanized to what you're trying to do. Here's the thing. LeBron James, it has a lot going on right now. A lot going on right now. And the bottom line is LeBron James is looking at the big picture here in his mind. And the big picture that he's looking at is how can he maximize his portfolio by having the NBA restart. That's what he's trying to do. And people have to understand that for what it is. When we sit here and we look at LeBron James and we look at the totality of what LeBron James brings to the table, LeBron James is obviously being careful because he has mastered the art of the 27th law of power. And that law tells you to be very vague, to not be very descriptive, and to leave it to everyone else so that in you not basically putting out a lot, you're not being detail oriented, it's leaving it to the imagination of the beholder. But you have the people under you that are part of the cult-like following, a la LBJ Riders Media, that will push your agenda, that will push what you got going on. His whole agenda that was being pushed through the media was to restart the NBA season. Now, if Kyrie Irving did not use this power play and he did not show this leadership to say, you know what, fuck y'all, we're going to boycott the NBA. Fuck you guys, we're going to create our own league, LeBron would have won. Because we're talking about LeBron's namesake versus Kyrie Irving's namesake. And anyone that checks, last time I checked, LeBron's namesake and LeBron's weight and gravity holds higher than Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving understands that. Now, Jacob Lonewolf said 99% of stuff correct. The Kobe Bryant one, I'm going to have to correct that one. Kobe actually, if you go back and do the research in the last NBA lockout, Kobe Bryant did, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. He started the blueprint. He started the standard of players understanding their worth. Yeah, I don't want you to go look at the totality of what Kobe Bryant said in that NBA lockout. And what Kobe Bryant said in the NBA lockout was, these owners are making billions and billions of dollars off of us. So what if we are making as much as we deserve to make? We are the ones that's out there busting our ass. We are the ones that's out there playing the way that we should. We are the ones out there playing the way that we're playing. So a player should get as much money as they possibly can. This was speaking to the whole year, if you recall, when Mark Cuban and them was saying luxury tax Kobe Bryant. Kobe had to show him in the game, luxury tax this, all of this stuff, et cetera, if you recall. In that time, Mark Cuban and them got slide to the freaking mouth. All of these people got slide to the freaking mouth. How come Kobe Bryant is getting paid this money that he's supposed to get when he's not playing supposedly in their mind to the level that he's supposed to play at? Well, the man brought them not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 fucking championships. And not only that, Kobe Bryant brought a lot of money to the Los Angeles Lakers. And it was because of Kobe Bryant that the Los Angeles Lakers were able to get that Fox Turner deal that basically grossed them over $3 billion for the next decade plus. That's all because of Kobe Bryant's heavyweight lifting that gave them that. So Kobe Bryant was well within his right to say that players should get what players are due, meaning these owners should not be sitting here and slaving these players when you know damn well they're making billions and billions of dollars. And why doesn't the players deserve to get as much as they could possibly get? Now, that issue in of itself doesn't touch what Kyrie Irving's doing, because what Kyrie Irving's doing is on a higher and more global scale, right? But here's the thing. You got to do your homework on Kyrie Irving to know why those two situations mesh and they match up. Kyrie Irving is a pupil of Kobe Bryant. And as you see, when Kobe Bryant passed away, pieces of his soul has fell on a few people. I have been one of them to get a piece of that soul. Kevin Durant has a piece of that soul. Kyrie Irving has a piece of that soul. And a few others have a piece of that soul. When you look at Kyrie Irving, you're just seeing him do what a Kobe Bryant would normally do. Basically be a polarizing figure. Kevin Durant is doing what a Kobe Bryant would do. Be a polarizing figure. He knows his sport is doing what a Kobe Bryant would do. Be a polarizing figure. Basically speak against conventional wisdom. Speak against the populace. Speak against what the norm is saying and what everybody's thinking. It's in my brain to automatically, and me and Tom Ross talked about this the other day, and it was so eloquent because we had our true alpha powwow. And I recommend all alphas to have a weekly powwow with one another. It just keeps you in your alpha energy. It keeps you in your alpha mindset. It just keeps you in your alpha ways. Now, bottom line, in that powwow, we both talked about one thing that was very important. And the one thing that was very important that we talked about was how Kobe Bryant impacted this generation in a way that showcases the difference between what a true alpha spirit and lifeline looks like versus a pure beta. I told you guys this stuff in 2 lives ago. You seeing the full manifestation of this, Jacob Lonewolf. You're seeing the full manifestation of this, Richy Rich, because I'm the reincarnation of Sun Tzu, aka Art of War, 7 steps ahead of the damn game. I don't got time to be playing with LeBron. I done told you guys who LeBron is. He's a class A narcissist. You guys know that he has a baseball card right now that he's trying to sell for $1 million. Rookie baseball card. Do you know in order for that rookie baseball card to hold its value, his ass has to be on the basketball court? See, you guys don't understand the synonymous or the similitude between basketball cards, sports cards, and athletes. Athletes have to actually be doing heavyweight lifting, a la be playing their respective sport for their card to be at its peak value. LeBron understands this. This is why he's pushing for that shit. Also, this is an opportune time for the least path of resistance. LeBron James knows these players are sloppy. LeBron James knows nobody else was putting in that work that he was putting in because of the trainer that he has and the millions of dollars that he spends on his body. So he was trying to take advantage of the fact that these players were sloppy, of the fact that these players were not going to be at their best, for him to play basketball and to come in there and win the title. Las Vegas had the Los Angeles Lakers as the favorites in a restart, which was something that was not even a foregone conclusion. They were looking at things completely different. Now, all of a sudden, they're the favorites. The NBA, Adam Silver, talking too sideways out of his mouth, said, oh, yeah, the NBA is going to start with the Los Angeles Lakers being the favorite. If you guys look at all of the headlines, everything was leading to Los Angeles Lakers being that team that was going to win the title. Here's the thing. In my talk with Tom Ross, we were able to deduce what Kyrie Irving did and his impact. Kyrie Irving basically said, okay, LeBron, fuck you. You playing chess? I got to play super chess. This is why I try to tell you guys. When LBJ Riders Media, LBJ Brigade, LBJ Apologists, LBJ Stance are playing chess, you always have to play super chess. Kyrie Irving said, I'm going to find a nice way to explain this to you guys so you guys can get it through your thick heads. And he did it. He basically said, why are we continuing this NBA season when we have a global pandemic, when we have George Floyd's situation that's going on? He even had a few players to get behind him. 2 fellow Lakers, Avery Bradley and freaking Dwight Howard. And then Kendrick Perkins gets slide to the fucking mouth. You know who Kendrick Perkins reminds me of? And you guys are going to laugh. He reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson's character on Django, Steven. Do you guys remember that movie Django that came out in 2012? If you don't, then I implore you guys to watch it. Steven is that house Negro that is always going to be obedient to the master. You know who his master was in that movie? Calvin Candle. And if you guys recall, in that movie, Calvin Candle was one of those malicious type of slave owners. because he would have the Negroes basically fight each other until the death. And they would just sit there on their chair while they're fighting each other to the death and just look at it as if it's like a freaking blood sport, as if it's like just something for them to sit there and to admire, as if it was just like a gladiator thing for them, as if it was something of beauty to watch two brothers rip each other apart. They didn't care about that. And then you had Steven's character. Yeah. Get that nigga. Get that nigga. Yeah. Kill that nigga. Kill that. That is LeBron James. LeBron James is a Steven because he will always do what the master tells him to do. The master being the NBA. This is why LeBron James is very quiet. And this is why LeBron James is very, what we would call inconspicuous. Because LeBron understands that if he has a stance that Kyrie Irving has, all of this lore that he has as being the darling of the NBA is going to fall to the wayside. Why do you think Bill Russell has been scrutinized the way that he's been scrutinized? It's because Bill Russell took a real civil rights stance. This is why I tell you guys, don't just run with whomever is in your face showing you that they're socially aware. Judge them by their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. You will know them by their works. You will know them by what they bring to the table. What has LeBron been showing you with his works? That he's all about himself. Because why would you want the NBA season to continue if you know there's an airborne virus that's sitting here, and mind you, an airborne virus that's sitting here and is continually to kill people, continually to cause cases, while we have Black Lives Matter that's going on? It's ridiculous. And for anyone to come out their cockamamie mouth and say you can promote Black Lives Matter while playing basketball, you don't know what you're talking about. Basketball is a mundane thing. Playing the sport of basketball does not promote a movement. All it does is it just does what it does. It plays freaking basketball. Having a shirt on, talking in front of a podium while you're playing basketball, that does not push a movement. What is pushing a movement is what Kyrie Irving is doing, taking a stance and saying, you know what? There's too much going on. Why the hell are we playing basketball? There's people's lives that are being affected right now. Why the hell are we playing basketball? There's an airborne virus going on. Why the hell are we playing basketball? That's a stance. That's a real stance. You know why? Because it's a revolutionary stance. It's actually a stance that a leader takes. That's the difference between what LeBron is trying to do, which is what we call a fake stance, and what Kyrie Irving is doing, which is a real stance. Kyrie Irving upped the ante and understood that if I do this, then now LeBron James has to higgity hush. He has to be quiet. Because if he now tries to go against me on this stance, he's going to make himself look bad. And now he's going to have to straddle the fence. This is the thing when you're dealing with people that talk too sideways out of their ass, and you're dealing with people that play both sides of the aisle. This is how you get them. You get them with directness. So you always meet indirectness with directness. This is how you checkmate indirectness. This is how you checkmate the 27th law of power. You do this with directness. This is what Kyrie Irving has done. He's taken basically a playbook from the school and the molding of a Kobe Bryant. Because if you guys remember Kobe Bryant's history as a player, history as a person, he was unapologetic in what he said. The media hated Kobe because Kobe would be sarcastic. Kobe would make the media look stupid. And he would ask them, why are you asking this dumbass question again so many freaking times? Kevin Durant is the same way. This is why they can't stand him. Because Kevin Durant is another unapologetic brother that says what he wants and nobody can stand for what he's talking about. Kyrie Irving is hated amongst his peers because he's able to do and he's able to be someone that these peers are not. Someone that's comfortable in his own damn skin. I don't like everything about Kyrie Irving, but I like a lot about him. And one thing that I respect about him is his unapologetic ways. Kendrick Perkins is the last. And when I say he's the last motherfucker to be talking about some damn Kyrie Irving. How dare a below sum of all parts player talk about a superstar extraordinaire in the lights of a Kyrie Irving that bailed LeBron James ass out in the 2016 NBA Finals? See, this is the problem with the participation award era. Any and every motherfucker can run their damn mouths. There used to be rules and engage. There used to be a rules of engagement. There used to be levels to this shit. There used to be gears. There used to be a respect. There used to be a decorum. There used to be what was called a general comportment about things. You don't just talk slide to the mouth against a superstar that does heavyweight lifting. Maybe if you're a number 2 option, we could deal with that. Scottie Pippen, we could understand why we deal with that with him. He's number 2, right? But a number 3 option? Oh, hex no. Number 4 option, hex to the damn nah. And number 5 option, a triple hex to the damn nah. Who are these number 3, number 4, number 5 options? A freaking Horace Grant, a freaking Draymond Green, and now we're talking about Kendrick Perkins. This guy averaged 3.6 points per game PPG. This is when you could tell his house Negro self is what he is, a guy that's being paid to be an LBJ Riders media. Look at what he just said. You got a brother that's sitting here in an unapologetic way that's standing for a cause, and he's standing for something that means something, and you're going to go against him by saying if you take Kyrie Irving's brain and put it in a bird, right now it's going to fly backwards. This is what's prevalent with us, especially in our community. We have this divisional mindset. You can see it in the comment section. I'm speaking cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truths, and the brother wants to sit there and tell you something, or whoever this is wants to tell you something that goes in complete contradiction of what I'm saying. This is what we're dealing with here. We are our own worst enemies. Jay Williams, he comes out and makes a stupid cockamamie comment to back up, you know what I'm saying, Kendrick Perkins by saying, I oppose what Kevin Durant said in calling him a sellout. He is a freaking sellout. Because what happened to this Kendrick Perkins that was supposedly a fake ass thug? You guys remember that? Kendrick Perkins gave us an image that he was a fake ass thug on the basketball court. Am I the only one that remember this? Anytime you touch Kendrick Perkins, he gonna fight your ass. He even tried that shit with Kobe, and Kobe got looked at dead in his damn face and punked his ass to show that he wasn't no damn thug. He was just a fake variation. Kendrick Perkins is clearly making money under the table by LeBron James. This is why Kendrick Perkins is talking slide to the mouth. You would think that a Kendrick Perkins would be loyal to a Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant gave him his NBA lifeline. If you guys remember, the Boston Celtics was getting ready to reduce Kendrick Perkins to below D-League. They were going to get his ass up out of the NBA because that Boston Celtics team ran its course. Kendrick Perkins was injury prone, and he couldn't even do what he did before, which was just be intimidation force and a guy that was just a hustler. Because he don't do nothing good on the basketball court. His points per average tells you that. This guy only averages 3.6 points per game. And you know what Kevin Durant said? Bring your rabbit ass over here to Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going to say it again. Bring your rabbit ass over here to Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going to give you a fucking lifeline. You would think he would be loyal to that. You would think he would sit there and don't get slide to the damn mouth. But of course, Kevin Durant's gonna run to the defense of Kyrie Irving and call Kendrick Perkins a freaking sellout. This is the problem. And the reason why he's a sellout is because he's being a sellout to the LBJ Riders media cause. I'm not surprised Jay Williams said what he said, because Jay Williams was the one that told you that LeBron James was better than Michael Jordan, and then there's so many ways of being a GOAT. The fuck is that? You the same motherfucker that said, I sat here and watched Kobe Bryant train, and I was done working out 2 to 3 hours, and Kobe Bryant was still working up a sweat, and then he came in the game and bust my ass for 40 or 50. So you went from that level of greatness to then say LeBron James is the equivalent of what a GOAT is? This is what's wrong with the LBJ Riders media. And that's why Shannon Sharpe got called out the way he did by Bill Russell. Because even Bill Russell, as old as he is, basically shook off the wrinkles and said, you know what? I'm going to have to say something against this bullshit. Even he's tired of the bullshit. Because now you're going to say that this guy is the greatest athlete ever, blah, 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 blah. The LBJ Riders media was trying to go on this all forefront that LeBron was prepping through them to push for the NBA to start back. But here's the thing. Kyrie Irving said, oh, I see you. I'm going to raise you up one. You know how we do when we play spades, man. Richy Rich, we used to dominate fucking spades. We used to have motherfuckers like ready to just brain all shaking all over the damn place. You got to raise a motherfucker up one. And that's what he did. He raised up LeBron by saying, we're going to start our own fucking league. And we're going to boycott. You see, when you do this, what happens is it turns the dichotomy and it turns the spectrum on things. It makes people start looking at things differently. And you have to look at the cold-hearted, the unadulterated, and the cutthroat truths. LeBron is not what you guys think that he is. And anyone that sits here and says that I have a personal vendetta against LeBron, I don't even know the motherfucker. How do I have a personal vendetta against him? For me to have a personal vendetta against somebody would mean that I know the person personally. Hence the word personal vendetta. You're talking to me here. So if you're talking to me, make sure what you say before it gets dissected and it gets eaten and murked, that you're on that mental aptitude to handle me. Make sure you're on that level, because if you're not, you're going to get chop suey. Remember, personal. Do your research on personal. Personal means you have to have a personal relationship, a personal connection. You're talking to Mr. Dictionary here. Okay? So how do I know him personally for me to have a personal vendetta? Eaten and murked. Bottom line is this. When you call out the truth in its cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat visceral form, people can't stand that. I told you guys about the truth. The truth hurts. That's why you see people are hot and bothered like grits. Every time He Knows the Sport gets a mic, somebody's going to get hot and freaking bothered like grits, because they're not going to like the truth-telling message. It's not my problem that you're proselytized by LeBron James. That's not my problem. It's not my problem that you're a brain full of mush and a brainwashed dodo head. That's not my problem. It's not my problem that you sat there and gargled the balls for 17 plus years. That's not my issue. That's on you. You need to figure out why you have the balls in your damn mouth. That's on you to figure that out. That has nothing to do with me. The truth of the fact of the matter is you need to look at the underlying and the undercurrents of it. Oh, I see you said, sorry, man, just continue. I guess the truth is hurting your ass. That's how it is. The truth hurts. I know it. Trust me, it hurts. But bottom line is this. You have to look at the cold-hearted, the unadulterated, and the cutthroat truths in its most visceral form. Peel the layers of the onion. And when you start peeling it, what you see from LeBron is a class A narcissist, a guy who is absorbed in his money, and he's absorbed in his bottom line. And as long as that doesn't get affected, he's not going to do anything. Notice LeBron is not taking the stance that Kyrie took. I thought LeBron was socially aware. I thought he was the one on Twitter that told you, oh, I'm not going to stay quiet. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like Twitter fingers to me. That's not somebody that's going out there to actually doing the heavyweight lifting. Kyrie Irving took a heavyweight lifting stance. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how revolutionary it is to look at the man in his damn face and say, fuck y'all, we starting our own league? You don't understand the level of gall and the umption and the cojones that you have to say something like that. You think LeBron would have said that? Hex to the damn. No, he don't care about y'all like that. And I told you about narcissistic people. And if you don't know what narcissists are, then do your freaking research on it. That's what LeBron James is, a narcissist to the T. He only cares about himself, and he's going to use you as much as he can to care about only himself. Salute to you, James. The bottom line is He Knows the Sport's been right about LeBron from the jump. And if you guys been listening to the damn platform from the beginning, you would have saw what I've been telling you guys about LeBron James from the beginning, which is this dude right here is not what you think that he is. Kyrie Irving gets all of the respect back in my book, because for a while, he kind of fell off with that apology to LeBron because he went away from the Kobe Bryant school of molding, and then he basically redeemed himself by doing what he just did right now. It's so crucial to be an unapologetic brother, especially in a time like this. This is why I respect Kevin Durant, because he's not afraid to tell people like he did, and he ended up being right, that this is a toxic, you-know-what environment. That this is not even about the basketball. This is about guys that are sitting here gargling the balls in their freaking la mouths. That's what he said. And it rubbed the media the wrong way. But he was telling the freaking truth. Kyrie Irving has every right to talk against LeBron and be in a position against LeBron. You know why? Because Kyrie Irving bailed LeBron James' ass out. Kyrie Irving is the reason why LeBron James has 33 freaking percent. Don't get me started, dog. If you take away Kyrie Irving's ring, LeBron is 2 for 9. Gosh. Oh, that's such an ugly NBA Finals average percentage. Kyrie Irving saved him. Do you guys understand that? He literally saved this man and put this man on at least 33% NBA Finals average, which is abysmal in of itself. He would have been 2 for 9. Ray Allen, his ass would have been 1 for freaking 9. And then that job that they did on Kevin Durant, where they acted like they couldn't hold the fouls, and Joel Anthony went to the free throw line, LeBron would have been 0 for fucking 9 NBA Finals average. Every NBA Finals that you could find with LeBron has been helped, has been manufactured, and has been basically engineered in a sense for LeBron to get to where he's at. LeBron is not what you guys think that he is, man. And as you guys keep continuing to peel the onion, you will see what I'm talking about. This is the time for him to be the most socially aware. This is the time for LeBron James to sit here and talk. And what's happening? I thought he was not going to be quiet. I thought he was not going to be silenced. See, you guys got the biggest brainwash and foolery the media has ever told you. They made you believe that LeBron James was a political figure. Let me tell you guys something, man. Malcolm X, once he got woke, and Malcolm X, once he started going by the principles of the Nation of Islam and then basically going against them later on after the fact, Malcolm X lived those adult years borderline anorexic. Do you know why he lived like that? He lived like that because of the plight of his people, because of the fact that he was always thinking about his people in his mind. Do you fucking think LeBron James would be living borderline anorexic for you motherfuckers? I want y'all to let that marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Let that marinate in the medulla oblongata. Do you guys seriously think that LeBron James would be living borderline anorexic for you motherfuckers? Really think about that. And once you ask yourself that hard line answer, you're going to realize, oh shit, he ain't about shit. And once I keep peeling the onion, I'm going to see that this guy's full with la bullshit, just like his NBA Finals average. 33.3%. See, LeBron even gives you 33.3% in being socially aware. Y'all didn't catch that. Let me let that marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Hear me? Hear me? Wow. LeBron James gives you 33.3% and even being socially aware. Do you know what 33.3% is? That's like the devil telling you a half truth. It's a fucking lie. It's not even nothing of nothing. So that's what you guys need to understand, man. This is why you can't get behind somebody like this. This is why when LeBron James leaves the NBA, like my boy Tom Ross say, nobody's going to remember him. The next generation not going to give a damn who this guy was. Do you want to know why? Because he didn't do anything impactful. He doesn't have a signature move. He doesn't have anything that's a signature other than him being what? The greatest of all trolls. No, they're going to remember him, all right? They're going to remember him as the butt of all freaking jokes that sat here, got on a podium in front of his friend. Even his friends cringed when he said that. You should look at Maverick Carter's face, dog. That tells me everything I need to know. Even Maverick Carter couldn't believe that shit. When he sat there and said, I was the greatest basketball player when I beat that 73-19. Maverick Carter was like, nigga, did you just fucking say that shit? That's the look he gave him. I'm telling y'all need to go back and look at that shit. He was cringing. because he could not believe the shit that came out of this motherfucker's mouth. This is what you guys need to understand. And see, I have to speak in such vulgarity so you guys get it, because it seems like people are not getting it. LeBron does not care about your cause. He doesn't care about my cause. He doesn't care about the cause. He doesn't care about shit but himself. He told you guys this shit in the 2011 NBA Finals. Richy Rich, what did he say in the NBA Finals? I like when you say, because your voice is cemetery silence mode. What did he say in the NBA 2011 Finals?
That everyone could go back into their normal lives, man. Why he's gonna do him. Him and his family are gonna enjoy themselves. Why all of us gotta go back to our average, mundane lives.
Say that again.
He said that he's gonna do him. Him and his family are gonna be fine, while we gotta go back to our normal, mundane lives.
So LeBron told you who he was. That's why I implore people. Matter of fact, I beseech my brethren and my sisterin. Wynette, I hope you're still in the building, to go back and look at LeBron James' speech at the end of the 2011 NBA Finals, when he looked like he was about to have a freaking aneurysm because of the fact that he became the LaFrozen one. And go look at when the media kept asking him hardline questions, and go look at LeBron James's response. And LeBron showed you a piece of who he was at that moment. I don't know why people didn't catch that shit. I was like, yes, because I deduced that motherfucker, man. I was like, yeah, I recorded that shit actually, because I was telling motherfuckers, I said, see, this is who he was. I was just waiting for him to crack like a freaking egg, and he did it. Go back and look at the end of the 2011 NBA Finals. Richy Rich, no, that was my most happy LeBron moment, because everything that I said, the chickens came to roost. Just like Malcolm X said, the chickens have come to roost. The chickens came to roost, y'all. He showed you guys who he was. And you know who he was? He showed you that he was a class A narcissist, a dude that was self-absorbed by himself. Now, Richy Rich gave you the nice version. I'm going to give you the ugly version of the way he said it. He said, you guys are going to go back to your miserable lives, and me and my family, we're going to go back to our lives of happiness and joy. This man just lost the NBA Finals. How would some shit like that come out your mouth? You would think he would higgity fucking hush. No, he didn't even do that. He was still cocky to let you guys know that you have miserable, sorry lives, and that I have a great life. This is what LeBron is about, himself. And once you guys wake up and smell the coffee, you guys will see what I've been saying about this dude from the jump. Kyrie Irving hasn't been this. Kyrie Irving has his faults. He's not perfect, but he's unapologetic, and you can respect that. And see, when a brother is unapologetic, that's the worst thing on the planet, because they try to muzzle your mouth. They try to lynch you. They try to basically silence you. And then they send your own to do that shit. That's why I can't stand Kendrick Perkins, because he doesn't even realize that he's being used to do the work. And that's the sad part about it, because he sold out for the mighty dollar. You know how many of us brothers and sisters sell out for the freaking mighty dollar? That's what Kendrick Perkins did. That's what he's continuously doing, and that's what he will continue to do. And Mellow S, I'm going to correct you on one thing, because I said in today's video, in one of my videos when I was in the zone, we don't do that 3-6 Mafia bullshit over here. It's 3-9 Mafia. See, last time I checked, I went to school. Jacob Lonewolf, I know you went to school. You're an educated brother. Richy Rich, I know you went to school. And when we did fractions, we didn't do attempts, and we didn't do attempts. We didn't do attempts, and we didn't do freaking how many times you failed. It was how many times your ass went there completely and how many successes you had after that shit. LeBron James went to the NBA Finals 9 times, folks, not 6, 9 times. When you see 3-6, the media is trying to bamboozle you. This is a subconscious NLP, neuro-linguistic programming thing that they've done, because they know 3 for 6 looks like 50% in your mind. So it makes LeBron James NBA Finals average look cleaner. You have to say 3 for 9 because when somebody sees 3 for 9, they're like, oh shit, that's bad. The media will never say 3 for 9. If you notice, they never say that. They always say 3 for 6. You know why they do that? Because they know if they put that 9 instead of 6, it makes LeBron James' greatness look worse. It actually reveals it for what it is. So stop y'all 3-6 mafia bullshit. Stop that 3 for 6. It's 3 for 9. His ass went to the NBA Finals 9 times, and his ass only won 3. He's a 33.3% averager and performer, not 50%. So I just wanted to say that real quick because I've been noticing this 3-6 bullshit. It keeps showing up. Stop that bullshit because that's media talk. I know where that comes from because mainstream media use that same bullshit. It's 3 for 9 or 3 out of 9, not 3 out of 6 or 3 for 6. That's about the last time I'm about to say that shit. Now, here's my last point. We move on to the next topic. Kyrie Irving just basically showed true alpha extraordinaire traits by making a hard line decision because the position that he made, the super chess move that he made, it not only tied LeBron James' hand, it also tied Adam Silver's hand because screw LeBron at this point. LeBron is a puppet for the NBA. He's the biggest puppet. It's about the NBA. It's about the board of governors. It's about the NBA governors. And Kyrie Irving wasn't looking at LeBron. He was looking past him. You know how Jay-Z said, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking past you. That's what he did. He didn't look at him. He looked past him because Kyrie Irving said, it's not even about me and you, LeBron. It's about me and Adam Silver and me and the NBA board of governors. These freaking owners. They're the ones that's pushing for this NBA season to continue because they know what time it is. They know that if we push, thank you, Lewis. That's right. That's 1,000% correct what you just said. We know if we keep pushing this season to restart, then we're going to get our bottom line. We're going to get our money. They don't even care about LeBron. They care about that damn dollar. And Kyrie Irving was like, oh, so you care about your dollar off of the strength of everything that's going on right now? So you're going to put players at risk in Orlando? In a concentrated area, you're going to put them in a hotel room. Hold up. You don't have no emergency preparedness plan. You don't have no safety measures in place on how to make sure that these players are not affected. And here's the thing. People know this. Lewis, you know this. Richy, you know this. People in the chat that's woke know this. NBA players, some of them bring their family members with them. So their family members going to be affected too? Did the NBA think about that? Did the NBA think that these family members were not going to get affected because these players were going to bring them with them to an NBA tournament and they were going to stay with them? And here's the thing. You're dealing with adults, folks. Please go read my article on the HeKnowsTheSport.com because I talked about this. You're reading with adults. You're dealing with adults. So you're going to keep adults congested in an environment and think that you're going to monitor them 24/7. So you mean to tell me adults are not going to go in and out as they please? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. All off of the strength of the mighty dollar and all off of the strength to get LeBron James out of a slump of an abysmal 33% NBA Finals average. Is it that much? Is it that bad that they want to push something to get LeBron out of this slump? That they're willing to risk lives? That they're willing to put other NBA players in a precarious situation? Now imagine if an NBA player contracts the coronavirus. So the NBA is willing to take a nosedive off of their product just so LeBron James can win a title. Do you guys see how bad this is? Also, their darling could win an NBA title. I'm sick and tired of this, man. I don't know if you guys are sick and tired. I am sick and tired of this because the NBA was never about a player like this. Even Jordan didn't get this shit. That's why I cringe when anybody tells me that Jordan and LeBron are helped in the same lights. Hell no. Hell no. It ain't the fucking same. They're not even in the same orbit because Jordan would not even have something like this. Giannis Antetokounmpo, this is how you know they sold on LeBron. Giannis Antetokounmpo was ranked number fucking 2. Oh my gosh. In the restart, this man is averaging 33 and 13. We haven't seen these numbers since the like of Wilt Chamberlain. We haven't seen these numbers since the like of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So you mean to tell me averaging those types of numbers don't make you automatically number one? Y'all got to see this stuff for what it is, man. See, they knew if the NBA season did not have this COVID-19 situation going on, or if it did not have the George Floyd situation going on, that LeBron James would have got defeated by the Los Angeles Clippers. The basketball would have continued as is because the Clippers were peaking. But with this stoppage and this thing where all of these players are sloppy, guys like J.R. Smith are popping dirty. You think he's the only one popping dirty? Please. If they're going to test a lot of these other basketball players, I'm sure they're going to pop up dirty as well, too. But J.R. Smith, you know how the NBA is. You know this, Lewis. You know this, Richy Rich. You know this, Jacob Lonewolf. And a lot of the woke people in the chat know this. Certain players they pick on and certain players they won't. J.R. Smith is just one of those players the NBA love to pick on. But I'm sure if you test a lot of these players, they're going to be popping up dirty with some weed. But J.R. Smith just happened to be the freaking guinea pig, right? How many of these players you think are in that position right now in this current climate of the NBA? See, I want you guys to start thinking about this stuff. If Adam Silver was smart and he was in the best interest of the NBA, he would say, you know what? We don't have a safety measure in place. We don't have an emergency preparedness in place. We need to go ahead and pump the brakes and basically stop the presses. We need to go sit down somewhere and higgity fucking hush. And we need to come up with a comprehensive and a stimulus package so that we can bring to you guys for the next season in October. That would have been smart. That would have been something that actually would have helped him because now he's building towards something. He's being strategic. He's plotting, he's planning, and he's strategizing. This is what true alphets do. The true alphets, a la the Wonetas, you know who I'm talking about. That's what females do. That's why females have an abundance mindset. That's right. Females can be alphas too. They're alphets because they plot, they plan, and they freaking strategize. Go make sure y'all hit the community post and Wonetta, cop you one of those damn teeth because I know you're a true alphet. You plot, you plan, and you strategize. Anyways, on to what I was saying. Truth of the fact of the matter is this. You have to look at the underlying undercurrents and you have to look at the cold-hearted, the unadulterated, and the cutthroat truths here. Adam Silver was only looking at the bottom line and dollars here. He was not looking at the bigger picture. Because if he was looking at the bigger picture and he wasn't being greedy, his ass would say, okay, you know what? We care about the players who happen to be 80 freaking % of African American, just like Jacob Lonewolf so eloquently said earlier. We're going to care about these guys. We're not going to treat them like freaking less than animals. And we're going to say, you know what? We care about y'all. We care about y'all family. We're going to make sure that we wait until we get further directives. As a matter of fact, the smart thing would have been done to do would be following the directives of what's going on in each respective state as it pertains to this situation. And I'm not talking about opening things up. I'm talking about the precautions that they are taking in terms of saying, you know what, even though we got some things going on, we're going to do these things in stages. We're not just going to go ahead and open everything up right now and just have everything going on the way it is. Even some states that have done this and realize that they've pushed the gun before the needle, they've had to scale back and say, oh, we went too fast. Because there's no cure in sight. Do you guys realize if another NBA player, let's say a big name gets contracted with the COVID-19, the NBA's product takes a nosedive. And you know who gets hit off of that? Adam Silver and the Board of Governors. And you know why they get hit off of that? Because they were reckless enough to say, we are going to continue a brand knowing that there's an airborne virus in place. This is what Kyrie Irving was speaking to. I'm sorry if I kind of went on and ramble for a little bit. But you know, when I go on these rants, they're not just rants. They're little educational pieces and moments for you guys. Kyrie Irving did something that was revolutionary from the NBA standpoint, and he gets the ultimate credit for that. But Jacob Lonewolf, I want you to know that playbook is from the molding of a Kobe Bryant, because you got to know who his mentor is. See, once you pay attention to somebody, always pay attention to who their mentor is. That's what people need to always remember. Who has mentored this guy? because Kyrie Irving wasn't like this before. Notice the spirit of Kobe Bryant, once it started doing those little talks with him, you started to see that Kyrie Irving is now in this mode of the Black Mamba or the Mamba mentality. Because that's what the Mamba mentality is all about. It's about being cold-hearted. It's about being cutthroat. It's about being unadulterated. It's about being visceral in its most form. It's about being unapologetic. And it's about making people hot and bothered like grits. That's what the Mamba mentality is about. And what you're seeing from Kyrie Irving is he's showcasing the Mamba mentality in his own variation. Trust and believe. If Kobe Bryant was alive right now, he'd be all over this shit right now. I'm telling y'all this shit right now. He would be all over it, leading the pack with a Kyrie Irving and a Kevin Durant and saying, what the hell? Why are we continuing on with the NBA season? We got all this stuff going on, especially now with Kobe not playing. He'd be leading the freaking charge. So I say all of that to say this. Who between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James revealed who's doing what they're supposed to and who's not? And it's very evident, folks, because you know when somebody's a leader, people naturally gravitate behind them and they end up having a bunch of Judas next to them. That's what Kyrie Irving has going on right now. He has a bunch of Judas next to him, a la Kendrick Perkins and all these weird, whatever you want to call them. And he has guys that are authentically galvanizing up under him. Damian Lillard is a big name in basketball. But look, he's getting up under Kyrie Irving. Dwight Howard, as goofy as his ass is, he done got up under Kyrie Irving. Avery Bradley does not strike me as an individual that would just throw himself somewhere. He strikes me as someone that actually thinks for a second. And he done fell his ass up under Kyrie Irving. That speaks volumes to the leadership of what Kyrie Irving is talking about. And I think Kyrie Irving is inspired by what's going on. And he's looking at things not glass half empty, but glass full. So this is the difference between somebody that's actually looking at things from a different perspective and somebody that's not. And the reason why I say this, and it's my last comment, is Kyrie Irving knew he was due to lose millions of dollars, but he was okay with that. LeBron James, on the other hand, is not happy with that. And that's why he wants the season to continue. See what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving knows, just like all these other NBA players, and I don't know if you guys know this, the ones that got their full salary are due to take 25% pay cut going into next year. One of the reasons why LeBron wanted the NBA season to restart is because if it restarts, LeBron don't have to worry about having to get that 25% pay cut. He can get his full money now and his full money next year. You see how the Class A narcissists do this? I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys have to look at this stuff for what it is. Peel the layers of the onion, and you guys are going to get what you need to get out of it. And that's all I got to say with that. Now let's move on to the next topic. All right, next topic. Avery Bradley, Damian Lillard, and Dwight Howard all agree with Kyrie Irving. And why Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard agreement as fellow Lakers can get them bounced up off their team. Jacob Lonewolf, what's your take on this, man?
That's exactly what's going to happen. For people that, if you've ever watched a lot of slave movies or just like movies that particularly pertain to war, this is very common. I think it happened in the Haitian Revolution when I forgot. I think it was Dessalines or something, where it's in the Bible. Where you brought up Judas. There's always people, even within your community. At the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line when it comes to them. So even within your community, you're always gonna have division amongst your peers. There's always gonna be sellouts. This has happened throughout history. It's happened in the Haitian Revolution. In Africa. Like when the Europeans came to Africa and they colonized there. You had a lot of chiefs sell out their own people. We sold each other out as well. So when you see what's happening with Dwight and Avery Bradley, they're gonna get the pink slip, absolutely. But with me, I know that they're not gonna the NBA is not gonna just get rid of them, absolutely. They're not gonna just get rid of them immediately because they know that if they do, they're gonna get a lot of criticism. They're gonna do it in stages, So what's gonna happen, what I'm thinking is gonna happen is that Avery Bradley and Dwight, they're gonna bring them back, if the NBA season resumes, I'm pretty sure that LeBron and them will try to convince them to come back because those two guys are crucial on the Lakers. Dwight Howard, and particularly him being on the defensive end and Avery Bradley being a good perimeter defender. They're going to need these guys in order to win that chip. So they're going to use them to win the championship. And then once they're done, that's when I feel like they're either going to get traded or they're going to get blackballed. I feel like one of them is going to get blackballed and the other one's going to get traded and then get blackballed because they're not going to do it at the same time. Because if you understand, they're going to do it in stages, so then it doesn't seem obvious. That's what they've done to a lot of players. That's what they did. Who was that guy that played on the Nuggets in the 90s? His name was what's his name? Abdul. You guys know his name?
Sharif Abdul Rahim.
Okay, all right. I can't pronounce his name, but yeah, he did the same thing. He didn't stand up. He was calling captain before calling captain was, and he got blackballed. I'm pretty sure one of MJ's teammates, what's his name, Craig Hodges, something like that. He was on record saying that I think it was during the '91 finals
You're right, Craig Hodges.
Yeah, Craig Hodges in the '91 NBA finals, he went up to MJ and Magic and said, "Hey guys, was it during I think it was during the '91 riots. I think he went up to them and said, "Hey, I want you guys to not stand up for the national anthem." And they said, "No, no, no, it'll make us look bad for the league." And even those two are great players. When it comes off the court, you can't translate being a great player on the court to off the court. So a lot of the times, even though I like with MJ, the thing with MJ is I don't really get on him because with MJ, he was more honest about it because he wasn't trying to be a social activist. He said that he was trying to focus on the game of basketball, and he wasn't like when he spoke out. He wasn't like he had to be more knowledgeable about it. But even though I don't agree with everything that he did, at the same time, I feel like if you're not in that position to speak out or like with LeBron, there's a difference because here's my thing, right? LeBron, there's an assumption of him speaking out, but what is he really doing? Like he's just basically tweeting out, he's lip servicing, and talk is cheap, what actions has he done in order to help, his fellow brothers and sisters, I know he created a school, but like what else has he done? Meanwhile, MJ put up $100 million, to help, with this cause. He's actually putting up like $100 million. Like, damn, that's a lot of money, And so with MJ, he gets more of a pass because actually he's doing something, and instead of him speaking out, like he puts this power in, getting your resources and putting it to the community. See, that's another powerful tool. Why doesn't the media say, hey, like speaking out is good, but this player, he basically put up this amount of money to fund this cause, that's powerful, because money is power, and the fact that he's putting $100 million into that cause, how come the media isn't giving him that much attention, compared to when they say LeBron is speaking out on this cause, But anyway, with Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley, they're gonna get blackballed. But we've seen throughout history that they'll do it in stages. They're not gonna just blackball them immediately because there's still an agenda to fulfill. They still need LeBron to win that championship. So them getting rid of these two players is gonna be a huge detriment to their success. So they need these players to win that chip. And I was kind of surprised that Dwight and Avery Bradley, were were basically following Kyrie's lead because I figured that hey, since they're on the Lakers and they're on LeBron's squad, that they wouldn't speak out. But obviously, you've seen through these tough times that you can only support um an agenda for so long. You know, once the truth comes out and once you see actual someone on the front line leading the charge and actually standing up for themselves, then you just no matter even if you try to support an agenda, you're automatically gonna follow that true alpha leader, and that's what they're doing with Kyrie because they're seeing, hey, this is a guy that's willing to give up everything, And Dwight's career, like particularly when it came to Washington, he was almost out of the league, before he went to the Lakers. This guy was bounced around on several teams. So the fact that I think when he saw Kyrie do that, Dwight is like you can tell he's on his way out, and um it's just, like you just seen throughout history that when players speak out, when they're doing all these things, they get blackballed, and you can obviously tell that when there's a lot of when you have that much amount of money in the league and you have that much you have a lot of money, you're gonna always gonna protect your bottom line, and you know I'm just thinking because I'm trying to think of how to put it. It's just like when Kyrie said that he wanted to start that league, it just spoke volumes to me because like I've been studying things like this. Is like that's powerful. Like starting your own league, you know how powerful that would be. Like how powerful if they could bring their own media networks to cover the sport, cover the league. They could speak out on political issues when they want. You know how powerful that would be. But here's what's gonna happen if that was to happen. This is my take. If that was to happen and players were to come together, I feel like there'll be lynching going on, Because these NBA owners, they're not going to take too kindly to Kyrie starting his own, Kyrie and all these other NBA players starting their own league. You've seen what happened with Black Wall Street. What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had thriving black businesses, that were doing well. And, white people got jealous and they burned down a lot of businesses and homes, like it happened in, what other state? I think it was Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it was in New York as well, and other places as well. So you can just tell how when there was a report that came out that said that Kyrie wanted to start his own league immediately, it was just shut down. You notice how Tyler Brooks, whatever her name is, she said that no, it's not true, or these other analysts, they just immediately shut down the whole talk of that. Because that is like, that is big. When it comes to player empowerment, it's actually these players taking their resources and they're taking their money, their time, their energy, and creating a league like they did, like Ice Cube is doing, and we also saw how the NBA stole a format from the Big Three, and Ice Cube was like, "Hey, where's my money at?" And they just the NBA knows the power that these black players have. They know that the power that they can have to create their own destiny, and this is why they say things like player empowerment, which is better than before, because back in those times, players, they couldn't just come out and say the things that they said, but now it's still the same, but they're giving you the illusion of freedom. Now, I'm going to go into some deep shit right now. So let's just say, when it comes to most people think that they're free. Most people think that in life they're free. So let's just take livestock for instance, right? If you give livestock the illusion of freedom, it will continue to roam and it will continue to reproduce and it will continue to live. So since livestock has the illusion of freedom, they will continue to live longer, thus being an asset to you. But if you engage livestock and you tell livestock, to not come out and to not roam, it will die off quicker. That's what they're doing with the player empowerment movement in the NBA. They're giving these players the illusion of freedom, when in actual reality, the owners are still making billions of dollars off their back. And if they, and anytime, these players stand up for themselves and they go against the grain, they challenge conventional wisdom, they should be your ass out of there, And Kyrie knows that. So when Kyrie when he said, I want to start he said, he brought up the conversation of trying to start his own league. That just spoke volumes to me, because that's power in that. That just goes to show me that, like, that's true freedom, That's true freedom, is that you're actually getting your resources and you're creating your own establishment, to where you don't have to rely on the powers that be. You don't have to rely on racists, these people that don't really have your best interests at heart to take care of you, And like I said it before, the illusion of freedom is that most people have the illusion of freedom, but they're not free, And if these NBA players had the mindset and said, hey, we're not really free, even though we have a lot of money, we're just high paid slaves. That's all, If when you know that you're enslaved, you can use that to your benefit and not your detriment, because then you try to find direct alternative ways in order to be free. There's a book right now I'm reading. It's called How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World by Harry Brown. And in that book, he literally goes into detail on how people can be free, because a lot of the times we complain and we try to take indirect alternatives and ask the government for handouts and ask the government to help us out, when in actual reality, you're the Osiris of your life. You control your own destiny. They don't tell you this, you have the power to be free, And in that book, he goes into direct alternatives on how to be free, like I think there was like there was one chapter where he talks about how to avoid the government, and the way you become free from the government, is to avoid them, is to basically be self-sufficient. So when Kyrie said he was starting his own league, not his own league, but he brought up the conversation to other NBA players on, hey, let's pull our resources together and start our own league. That basically that's representing freedom, because now when you have your own league, you can speak on political issues when you like, you can help out the community, you can put your money to a bigger cause, and I feel like I'm not quite sure about this, but when they give players these money, there's always what do you call this written rules that they have to abide by, and then there's unwritten rules, and we've obviously seen, particularly with a lot of these celebrities, is that when they sell their souls, particularly when it comes to Hollywood, when it comes to these producers, is that a lot of the times you have a lot of these talented actors and actresses out there, but since they're not in a particular clique, they're not they're not afforded the privileges of having a lot of these great benefits. So with me, Kyrie is just taking a stand, he's basically, he's marching to the beat of his own drum. And that's what the true revolutionary people do, that, and that's they pull their resources, because we can speak all we want, we can say how bad these cops are, how bad, they're killing unarmed black men, but if you have ways to, combat that, the only way you can combat that is pulling your resources together. And at the end of the day, money is power. You can talk all you want, but people are not going to listen until you bring that dollar up, and there's so much direct alternatives that people can do, during this time, and I think we as a people, particularly Black African people worldwide, we have an inferiority complex compared to everybody else. The way we look at ourselves is really bad. We don't think we have the power and the resources to do anything. We don't practice group economics. With me, I practice group economics by buying from He Knows. I buy his products. I want to buy all his products. Because I'm trying to spend my money with within my community. And I'm trying to spend my money with people that look like me that have my best interests at heart. You know, and I know if I will create my own product, I know it will support me. So all these things, you know, these can help us out. You know, it's not just about speaking out. It's about pulling your resources together. You know, hey, you know, if here's one way that we can avoid police brutality. How about we create our own armed forces? You know, how about we create our own police force instead of being killed in these towns? Why don't we create our own towns, our own cities? I mean, that's what they did with Utah. Look at Utah. You know, like Utah used to be all land and desert, but people built that up. You know, there's direct alternatives that you can do in order to avoid from being, you know, killed, being enslaved. You know, you we have the power, and you know, we have the power to change things. You know, we don't have to accept conventional wisdom as it is. You know, and the more I read books and the more I learn from a lot of you know, people from this world, is that you have the power in your own hands. You know, and today's players, they realize that they have the leverage, but you know, since you know, when you know what happens when the slaves on the plantation, they start to realize the amount of power that they have, the master has to come in and basically divide them and basically pay off this person to sell that person out. You know, so yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So um, you know, with Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard, unfortunately, these guys, you know, they're not gonna get blackballed immediately, but they will over time. You know, the NBA will ship them out. So that's my take on that.
What's your take on it, Rich?
Well, I mean, Jacob, man, you really went in on that. Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard. I don't think they'll be blackballed, but I do think they if these dudes don't win, the Los Angeles Lakers don't win this year. You know, they're definitely not going to be on that team next season. You know, but these guys are solid role players. You know, and they bring an aspect of the game that that Laker team is going to need. And LeBron is going to need, because he hasn't played defense since I don't know when. Uh, Avery Bradley, you know, he's still good at guarding these point guards that are his size, around that 6'3", 6'2", 6'1" height range. And Dwight Howard, he still can rebound well, and he can still block shots. So all those are needed. LeBron is going to need those guys, those type of guys, for him to go on a run, to have a chance at a chip. But if they don't win, let's keep it real. Those guys are going to be off the team for speaking their minds. You know, for agreeing with a Kyrie Irving, for having a mindset where basketball is not important right now. That this movement is important. You know, and you got to commend these guys as well, because they're not on this. How he knows the sports says it, the participation awards, or
So participation award
era, or LeBron James writers media. They're not on that. These guys have a mind of their own, you know, and they're free thinkers. They're gonna think freely, and they think this movement matters, and it does. You know, it's not about basketball. It's about, you know, seeing something come out of this, a change come out of this, you know, something where we can evolve. You know, the Black community, they can evolve and be better out of this situation. You know, we put our minds together and we figure something out, man. Not just wait on what the governments, what this country has, you know, what what kind of laws they write out for us, you know, to seek the change. You know, these guys want to see something done, you know, but it should be mainly about ourselves, you know, because there's a lot of infighting amongst us, and some of us don't want to see each other do well. You know, that's the big thing amongst the Black community. There's always haters. You know, you got a guy that's doing his thing, and then you got another guy in the community. They're gonna hate on that dude, and they're gonna put him down, or they're gonna try to steal. They're gonna try to rob from him. They don't want to see the other guy shine. Right? Guys don't want to put their minds together so that everyone can shine. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, really, Ben, when you look at this whole thing, we still got the COVID-19 thing, uh, still in there, and there's supposed to be a second wave, and you seeing the numbers spike, man. Ever since these reopenings happened, you're starting to see these numbers go up again, and this is not even the second wave. Uh, so they're saying the second wave should hit when the fall comes, because we're gonna head right back into cold weather, and this is where these type of pandemics thrive in those type of climate. It's hot right now, but the numbers are spiking. This is why we should be worried. Florida is probably the place that's spiking the most out of all these states right now, and they're gonna have these games in Orlando. And these guys are only thinking about the movement. They're thinking about the virus, bringing their families along, being exposed to that environment. The owners are not going to be there. So now the players are like, okay, you're going to send us into an environment where the owners are not going to even be around us. Like, you always see how those owners are present at every basketball game. They own the stadium. That's their court. They're going to be there. But in this type of scenario, they're not going to be there, man. So the players are like, okay, we're guinea pigs, man. They're even gonna have some of these coaches. You're not gonna see some of these coaches go out there and coach these games, because they're worried that these coaches can catch the COVID-19. These guys, some of these guys, coaches that are old, like Popovich, Rick Carlisle, uh, uh, the coach on the Rockets, what's his name? I always forget his name. Uh,
Mike D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni, the older coaches in the NBA, these guys that may have underlying conditions, or just 70 year old and up. These guys, you might not see them on those benches because they're worried, and you're putting the players in that type of environment. So the players are worried, man. You really gotta think, man. Okay, and plus they came out and said that the Disney workers, the people who are employed by Disney to go, that are going to be responsible for taking care of players, like bringing them their food, or washing their laundries. These people are going to be going in and out of the bubble. That means that they're going to be going back. They're going to be going back to their personal lives outside the bubble. What if these people are asymptomatic carriers of the COVID-19, and they bring it inside the bubble? What if a very important player catches the virus, and they're in the playoffs, and they got to sit out the playoffs, and that team gets bounced out? It's an asterisk. It's an asterisk season, man. It's an asterisk NBA season, man. So it doesn't. And when you look at the bigger picture, it doesn't make sense for them to carry on. But we know why they're doing it, because they don't want to lose out on those dollars, because that's what it's about, man. And they don't want their CBA to be torn down and have to redo another one. That's the case. If this wasn't the case, this season would have been canceled by now, man. This thing would have been done away with. But that's what it's about, and it may be about LeBron James winning that title, so we got to see what happens, man. But if the Lakers don't win, Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard, they will not be members of the Los Angeles Lakers going forward next season. Those guys will not be, because they spoke their minds, and they showed that they're not on that LeBron James train. These guys are going to think for themselves. So I don't know about them being blackballed, especially in a time like this. If they try to blackball those guys for speaking their mind, they're gonna put heat on Adam Silver's ass. Yeah, so far up his ass, he's not gonna know what went up his ass. So he's not gonna, especially because the nose players being black too. He's not blackballing those guys, but they just won't. LeBron is gonna make sure these guys are not members of that team. So we gotta support these brothers, man. These brothers are shown. You rarely see this now, man. These guys come through and try to stick together on a movement, man. Speak their minds and stay with it, man. Not be wishy washy. These guys are being real. So it's very important that we support these guys that have this type of mindset, man, and not try to shame them or think lowly of them because they think like this.
Ah, we basically covered the other two topics, so let's go ahead and close out. Jacob Lonewolf, man, what are your closing thoughts, man?
He's on
Sorry,
mute.
guys.
Okay.
Jacob, you
Hello?
there?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying we pretty much touched on all of the topics in the topics that we talked about. So I just wanted you to close it out. What are your closing thoughts?
Yeah, man. I think we covered pretty much everything. And yeah, this was a very important live stream that I think we covered everything, and I think it was important to discuss everything that's going on, particularly not just in America but in society. Because all these police shootings and the history that's going on in America, throughout 500 years. A lot of black people, around the world, we face the same plight. Probably not on the level that it's in America right now, but I can totally relate. And I think it's very important just for us to practice group economics. Yeah, we can talk about how bad things are, but if you think we live in a world, evil's always gonna be here. Evil was here before we were born. It's here now, and it's always gonna continue to be here after we're long gone. And the fact is that we only have one life, and talking is not gonna do everything. Like if you keep talking about it and saying, "Oh, the government needs to do this and the government needs to do that," we need to stop all these killings. Yeah, that will probably accomplish something, but it's not gonna, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to accomplish everything. We need to take direct alternatives, and that's practicing group economics, looking at certain industries that we can have that are monopolized, that we can basically tap into, whether it be self defense, um, you know, um, uh, basically, what type of industries that we can invest in, technology, how we can fight, like how how to fight in battle, weaponry, all these type of things, are very important, when it comes to these things, and when we talked about these NBA players basically standing up, that's great, but I would like for them, even though starting your own league, that's that's a whole different topic. That's they're going into the right direction. And even though the media shut down Kyrie statement as if he wanted to start his own league, I don't know. With me, I can guarantee you that he said that. Just knowing who he is, I guarantee you that he said something like that. And that's like, to me, like that's a power statement, and it's things like this that I'm more concerned with. So I think we nailed it, and it's just important. Again, practicing group economics. Doing for self. Investing in yourself, investing in your people, not hating, and just basically going forward in life. So Rich, you brought up a lot of great points. I agreed with you. He knows, as always, and a lot of people in the chat, basically gave their opinions, and you know, I hope everyone's having a blessed day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and yeah, peace, man.
Thank you, Jacob. Richy Rich, close us out, man.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to you guys. He knows. Came hard with it, man. These were definitely great topics to touch on today. They needed to be touched on. Jacob. That's why I gave you that name, the researcher, man. You went in, man. You went in, boy. You don't play around. You always be dissecting these topics. You always be going in, deep, and like investigating before you come on the show, man. We appreciate you always. Uh, but yeah, like how you said, these topics needed to be touched on because this is the current trend right now. This is the present trend, and we have to touch that. We got to see change. This is a time where, you know, we don't know when we're gonna see another time like this, you know, and things are gonna come back. Things are gonna open back up, and things are gonna be a distraction, man. And it may take away from the momentum we have now going on this thing right now. So people got to be factor that in, man, and they got to understand what's more important. You know, something just to take your mind away from all the stresses or all the the hardships you've been going through, or a situation, man, that needs to be addressed, that needs to be changed, that's been going on for over 400 years, which isn't going away overnight, but it's time to see a change. It's time to see a shift in our favor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for that. You know, it's good to see some of these athletes have that mindset as well, man, because they know what the bigger picture is, man. It's not about sports. It's about seeing a change for people of your color, for Black people in general. You know, it's time that people change their mindset of us, man, their perception of us, because there's a lot of people that have these wicked mindsets, wicked perceptions of us. It needs to change, man. You know, people that have that look at us in a certain way, man. These things need to change. You know, so I'm all for it. You know, I'm looking forward to June 24th because we're gonna see what players, man, are real and what players, man, that they just care about that bottom line. But I understand some players in a position to where they just can't do this. You know what I'm saying? They're either rookies on the team or they don't make a lot of money like that, man. And so they gotta they gotta make sure them contracts is guaranteed, man. So I understand. I can't hate on those type of players, but there's some guys they've been talking big, man. But like you said, talk is cheap, man. You know, talk is cheap. We're gonna see. You know, we appreciate you all in the chat, coming through, leaving your comments, about the topics in hand. Uh, I hope that we could get back on this show next week, and the topics are even more impactful than they were today. So be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.
Appreciate everyone that showed up and showed out. Jacob Lonewolf, Richy Rich, thank you for your contributions. Everyone in the chat, appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you for your contributions. As you guys see the ticker below, make sure you guys check out www.enosupport.com. Wealth of information, wealth of resources, wealth of products on that website. Hit the Cash App, you know what I'm saying? Money sign, that heat and that fire. Give your best, your Sunday's best, whatever you guys can give. Anything's appreciated. It's duly appreciated. Also, make sure you guys super chat as well too, because when a man works, he deserves to be rewarded for the work that he puts in. You know what I'm saying? If a man doesn't work, he shall not eat. But in this case, we work, so therefore we shall eat. Let me say it again. If a man doesn't work, he shall not eat. In this case, we've worked, so therefore we shall eat. So make sure y'all donate and make sure that you guys contribute to the platform, because we continue to give you guys that heat and that fire. We continue to keep the foot on the damn necks. We continue to show you guys what you guys should get in terms of cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truths. Jacob Lonewolf, you came in and researched your fashion. Richy Rich, you came in, did your thing as always. And you guys know me. I had my long soliloquy early on. That took everything out of me because I did some other videos earlier today. So I was done. I kind of just left it in the good hands of Richy Rich and Jacob Lonewolf, because I know they're long-winded, but in their own iteration, in their own ways, in their own facets, and their own variations, when they say what they say, it's very impactful. And this is the thing: when you have a good panel, you can trust and delegate. That goes and speaks to what Jacob Lonewolf was talking about: group economics, trusting your brethren, putting faith in your brethren that they're going to have your back, that they're going to do what they're supposed to. This is what's practiced each and every single time on this platform. You see, we got brothers on this platform. You know what I'm saying? We have sisters on this platform. We practice group economics. We give our brethren and our sisterin the ability for them to showcase themselves, be men and women with confidence, purpose, and an abundance mindset. Be true alphas, be true alphets. You know what I'm saying? Plot, plan, and strategize, and be powerful well within their rights. That's what it's about. I know the platform says he knows his sport, but on a more higher plane and a higher scale, you could say it's he knows everything, and it allows everybody the ability to broaden their horizons, learn something. You guys can attest to this. Those in the chat, each and every single time you guys leave, these live streams, not like other live streams, it's an experience because you guys leave with more knowledge, with more wealth, more understanding, and you become better versions of yourself. That's what it's all about, maximum proficiency. So make sure y'all subscribe to HeKnowsTheSport.com. Make sure y'all, like, comment, and share to all the videos that were out today. Make sure y'all do the same for this live stream as well. Make sure you guys go to Jacob Lonewolf's channel. Jacob Lonewolf, every time you come up on here from here on out, I want you to start putting your channel, the link to your channel, in the chat, and then I'm gonna keep posting it up periodically. So from here on out, when you do that, I want you to start doing that so that way people can go and they can subscribe to your channel. You know what I'm saying? His channel is Finding Yourself in This Big World, and he is trying to find himself in this big world, and he's doing a damn sure good job of it because he's a researcher and he's a reader. And I know those who research and those who read, they always have a leg up. Netta, you're looking forward to that book. Be that true outfit, plot, plan, and strategize, and get that book out there, you know what I'm saying? So people can go ahead and support it. We're all about supporting our own and supporting our cause, uplifting our brethren, uplifting our sisterin, and bringing them to the next level. So I appreciate everyone. You guys have a great Wednesday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Like Richy Rich said, there's a second wave. Make sure you guys protect yourselves, practice social distancing. Make sure you guys have your safety measures in place. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do anything crazy. And make sure you guys are doing what you're supposed to keep yourself in line with what you're supposed to keep yourself in line with. And a big thing that I also want to tell you guys, make sure you guys show respect to those that are pointed above you, because that's biblical right there. We can galvanize. We can speak our minds. We can do everything that we want to do. But we also have that biblical right to also respect those who are pointed above us. Let's do everything we can, but be Batman about it. Get as close to the edge as we possibly can, but don't have ourselves go over the damn edge. Jacob Lone Wolf, Richy Rich called you Jacob, researcher Lone Wolf. I'm going to start calling you Jacob Batman Lone Wolf, because he said something earlier about the investigative work. All I know with Batman is when Batman, with prep time, has the ability to prep, he's unstoppable. That's something that a lot of people don't know with Batman. Batman could even kill Superman if he has prep time. He's unstoppable. So I'm going to start calling you Jacob Batman Lone Wolf. I think that name is befitting. That's my nickname to you, to go coincide with Jacob, the researcher Lone Wolf. That'll be the secondary nickname to go behind the top original nickname. But thank you guys. Appreciate that. Richy Rich, appreciate you for dropping those Richy Rich jewels. You know what I'm saying? And for dropping information, as always, in consistent alpha energy. So thank you for that. And again, appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out. Appreciate everyone on the platform. Again, make sure you guys go to HeKnowsTheSport.com, subscribe to the channel. There's the sign up button. The sign up button is actually active and working. Click on that button and sign up to the website. Because here's the thing. YouTube, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. My YouTube channel may go down because I'm a controversial person. The YouTube may want to pull the plug on me, but I have a website. You guys subscribe to the website. You guys will be able to still have access to He Knows His Sport. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I want you guys to do. Always think not only all your eggs in one basket. Think of so many different ways to branch yourself out. So go to the website, HeKnowsTheSport.com. Check the website out. I'm sure you guys will be very thrilled, very happy, and very proud with the work that your boy's been doing. And you guys subscribe to the channel. Check out the merchandise on the shop link or the shop page, and then go ahead and copy something. You know what I'm saying? Wonetta, true alphabet, plot, plan, strategize. guys that are listening, the True Alpha Extraordinaires, get you a shirt. If you're a True Alpha, then guess what? That shirt fits for you. Those who are not a True Alpha, when you wear the True Alpha Extraordinaire, because you got to understand, it has my True Alpha energy on it. So you guys have to understand that. When it's the author of the person who has the energy, then they've given you a little sprinkling of that damn energy. So if you ain't a True Alpha, when you wear the damn shirt, you will carry a True Alpha energy. So just think about that. So make sure y'all cop y'all True Alpha Extraordinaire. Make sure you cop the True Alpha, plot, plan, and strategize, and go check out the rest of the products that's available to you guys. There's going to be more products that's coming out. I'm actually going to be dropping 2 more today after I get off the live stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a regular cat, nor do I think regular, nor do I reside in regular realms. That's for the men. And for the female, I'm not a regular feline, nor do I think regular, nor do I reside in regular realms. See, every time we do something for the men, we always going to do something for the women. So I just want you guys to think about that, because we are all about making sure you guys are taken care of. You guys are men and women of confidence, purpose, and an abundance mindset, and you carry yourselves as such. So again, go back, check out the website, hit that sign up button, sign yourselves into the website, and be a part of the Henosis Sport movement. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have done and you guys have brought to the table. Lewis Sports Network, I will be calling upon your jersey, brother, for the next live stream, because the next one's going to definitely require your energy, and it's going to definitely require you coming in and doing your Mr. Encyclopedia thing. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Lewis Sports Network. Make sure y'all check out his channel, subscribe to his channel, comment, like, and share. I'm always going to uplift solid brothers and solid sisters that are doing their damn thing. So appreciate everyone. Y'all have a great Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.